Have you ever pondered the process of creating and testing APIs? Well, it's a fascinating journey that begins with a blueprint and ends with a product that other developers can trust and rely on. API creation is a 5-step process. It starts with planning. Just like an architect needs a blueprint, API developers need specifications. OpenAPI, for example, can serve as a guide. It's important to think about different use cases in advance and make sure the API aligns with current development standards. Next comes the building. This is where the developers get to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty. They prototype the API using boilerplate code, and after testing, they customize it to meet internal specifications. Now, it's time for the testing phase. Much like testing any other software, API testing is crucial to weed out bugs and defects. Developers use API testing tools to strength test the API against potential cyber attacks. Once the API is built and tested, it's time to document it. While APIs are generally self-explanatory, documentation acts as a handy guide, improving usability and making the API more popular in a service-oriented architecture. Finally, it's time to market the API. Just like Amazon is a marketplace for goods, there are API marketplaces for developers to buy and sell APIs. Listing your API here can help you monetize it. API testing strategies aren't much different from other software testing methodologies. The main focus here is on validating server responses. This involves making multiple requests to API endpoints for performance testing, writing unit tests for checking business logic and functional correctness, and conducting security testing by simulating system attacks. Writing comprehensive API documentation is a crucial part of API management. Some best practices include writing clear, simple explanations, using code samples to explain functionality, keeping the documentation updated, and aiming the writing style at beginners. Implementing a new API involves obtaining an API key, setting up an HTTP API client, and structuring API requests. Once you get the hang of the new API syntax, you can start integrating it into your code. An API gateway is a tool for managing APIs, especially for enterprise clients using a wide range of back-end services. It handles common tasks like user authentication, statistics, rate management, and more. New APIs can be found on API marketplaces and directories such as Rapid API, Public APIs, Apiforthat, and Apilist. In sum, the journey of creating and testing an API is a meticulous process that involves planning, building, testing, documenting, and marketing. API testing strategies focus on validating server responses, while comprehensive API documentation and management are crucial for user understanding and interaction. Implementing a new API requires an API key and HTTP API client, and API gateways help manage APIs for enterprise clients. Finally, new APIs can be discovered on various online platforms. Remember to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of technology. Thank you for joining in today's exploration of API creation and testing.